Good evening, everybody. Welcome to, of course, the evening Jackery stream. James here, your host. We got a bunch of cool stuff we're going to be showing you guys. You probably see that big old table of power stations back there. We're going to be showing you guys probably pretty much everything on that table tonight in some sort of way. You're probably seeing a couple other things sitting on that table. We do have some RGB lighting. We also have, of course, Tony Stark's heart sitting there charging for something else. But we do have some products sitting around here, guys. We're going to have some fun. We got a bunch of great deals. Now, what I'm going to tell you is these are amazing deals that you're not going to want to miss. We have a bunch of great prices. I also have, of course, that banner down there in that corner over there. You guys can see that banner. That banner is going to swap out to a few different items in the carousel that we're going to be showing you guys with the prices on that. It's also going to show a 5% off clippable or 5% off coupon code for you guys. Now, that coupon code might be a little too small for you guys to read, so I can actually enlarge that a little bit for you guys so you guys can see it a little better. I usually leave it a little smaller because we do share the code in chat every so often for you, so you guys will have that in there as well. Now, with that being said, guys, we're going to start this off with a bunch of amazing smaller stations. Now, the smaller stations may not be set up to run your whole household, but they got their purpose and they will get you there as you need it in the time of need. Now, of course, we're going to start this off with the little but yet mighty little. I'm doing pretty good, Jennifer. How are you doing? What's up, Ship Roman? Hey, Darthwing. Kenneth, how are you doing? What's up, my friends? What's up? How's everybody doing? I'm going to jump over to the table and I'm going to grab this product right here. It's a little baby. It's a baby. No. All right, guys, this is what we're going to start off with. This is actually a really cool little product. This, of course, is the 100 Plus. Now, the 100 Plus is small but mighty in its own right. Now, the cool part about the 100 Plus is this little thing packs a wallop. 99 watt hours of power or 31,000 milliamps of power. TSA approved power for that on hand. That means you guys can take it on an airplane and actually run your devices off it on an airplane without an issue. Now, this little station is going to come with, of course, this cabling, this bright orange cable. This is, of course, a USB-C to USB-C charging cable. This cable is actually 100 watt capable, so you can actually send 100 watts through either direction off of this cable. On the end, you're also going to see this little adapter. This is a USB-C to DC plug adapter. This is for your solar panels. Now that is, of course, the station. Look at that little beauty. This has actually got two USB-C ports, 100 watts max charging capability in and out with that. Now you also have a USB-A port at 18 watts max as well, and a display. Now the display, of course, it's not the world's biggest display, but it tells you guys the information you need to know. Of course, it's telling you about right now, it's got about 50% battery, and it's got your input and output with this. Now with this little thing, like I said, 99 watt hours of power, but it can actually be fully charged in under 2 hours on a wall plug, which is kind of cool. The same way if you guys had a solar panel, like a 100 watt solar panel, a couple hours fully charged, you're good to go. This little thing has enough power to run your Nintendo Switch for over 4.5 hours, which is nice to know that you can run a Nintendo Switch straight through for 4.5 hours. Now, with that being said, we're going to get here. You could charge your iPhone 14 6 times with this. You guys could do an iPad for a couple times, or if you really wanted to, plug in a Nintendo Switch and, of course, the portable monitor and run that for about 3.5 hours. That's what you got with that. It's going to run that. It's going to do well with this. Portable and mighty. Now, this weighs less than 3 pounds. It's like 2.1 pounds. It's very, very lightweight. I use this quite a bit for my phones on the course of the table, especially my streaming phone that I use for the carousel over here. And that's actually kind of cool. Hey, nice to see you, Shipperman. I'm glad you're here. Now, with it, of course, guys, this is a really, really great option for you with the portability. It actually has protections built in, so you don't have to worry about it. 6 forms of protection. It's got a long-lasting LFP battery, which is your LiFePO4 cell. Now, that LiFePO4 cell is actually got a balancer in there and everything else. But nice, mighty, portable little piece that's going to do well for you. This is actually like 40% off. It's like $89.99 tonight. That's a great price point. So if you guys need a nice little mighty little one, the 100 plus is a good option. So really, really amazing piece right there for you guys if you need. Now with that, I'm going to apologize up front, guys. Allergies are through the roof right now, so you might hear me sneeze, cough, and stuff off and on, and I do apologize. Now with that, we're going to move on to its big brother, and not really its big brother, but it's just its big brother. With that being said, we're going to move on to the 240, the original 240 power station. This is it right here. 240 watt hours of power, connectability, 3.5 hour charge rate. So you have fully charged up and running in 3.5 hours. Now with the 240 watt hours of power, this one's got something the other one didn't have. And that's an AC plug. This AC plug is your standard 3-prong American style plug. That's going to allow you to plug in your lamps and other pieces to charge off of this. Now with this, it's got a different style of screen, so it's got a different coloration. It's got a fixed handle to carry it. This is still only 7 pounds. It's a little under 7 pounds with this, which is actually kind of cool. Now with you have two USB-A ports, guys. Those are only 5 volt, 2.4 amps though, but still do pretty well for the charging capabilities. Now you also have, of course, over here this nice little 12 volt, 10 amp cigarette lighter plug as well. Now right there, guys, Lois just dropped that little exclusive code in chat. She also dropped off some of the price points for some of the products tonight as well. So if you guys see that, definitely check that out. Now with it, like I said, 3.5 hours on the wall plug fully charged. If you want to use a cigarette lighter in your car, guys, about 5 hours fully charged. If you have the 100 watt solar panel, 5.5 hours fully charged and running. Now, 240 watt hours of power is going to give you guys about 24-ish cell phone charges, all right? We're going to go ish with that. I'm not going to say you're going to get it. It's an ish thing because not everybody's cell phone battery is the same. So you have to just depend on which one you're going. If you use like DSLR cameras and batteries, guys, these little batteries, you're going to get about 15 charges. So 15 of these batteries can be charged off of that. Now, these are actually 1250 milliamp batteries. So they do pack a little bit with the wallop on that with it. Now, portability and silent. This does not make really any noise at all. The most noise you're going to hear is actually the clicking of the switch to turn on the plugs. Now, all of these plugs are individually switched, so you have the USB-A's have a switch by itself. The AC outlet has its own switch as well. Now, with it, of course, it's got silicone pads, Class 9 drop protection, and fire retardant shell, which is actually decently well done for that. Now, for those of you that want to do like a little mini cooler, guys, about 3 hours of runtime with that. For those of you that want to do your little 80 watt laptop, you're going to get about 3 hours of runtime. So 240 hours is going to do decently well, of course, under 7 pounds of weight and portable. This is a cool one. Nice, portable, acceptable, and very, very user-friendly. So if you guys need something that can be carried around in a quick emergency or hiking and camping, that's a good option for you. The 240, of course, is about $178. Great reachable price point for an entry-level system. Not sure. That's out of my range over there. I don't know. With that, we're going to move on, of course, to the new 240. Now, the new 240 is what's called 240 V2, version 2. Now, the 240 V2 actually has a handle that can be folded up and put away with that. So you can put the handle up there. Now, with this, you have the AC outlet. The AC outlet steps up to 300 watts of pure sine wave connectability. Now, with the 240 V2, it's 256 watt hours of power. So you got a little bit more power as well on top of that. But it's got some, let's go there. It's got some new technologies built in. It's got what's called Charge Shield 2.0. Charge Shield 2.0 means you can actually have this fully charged in 1 hour of charge time right off a wall plug. That's actually really nice. Now, you do have two USB-C ports. One's a 100 watt port, one's a 15 watt port. You also have a 15 watt USB-A port, and of course, a flashlight that actually has a couple modes with that. You still have the 12 volt 10 amp cigarette lighter plug over here, and can be ran very, very quick like. Like I said, 1 hour, of course, on a wall plug, 2 hours if you use the USB-C, or 3 hours if you have a 100-watt solar panel. With it, of course, it has LiFePO4 cells built in. You have 50 up to about 52 forms of protection, and of course that I think it's a UL 2743 safety certifications plus fire retardant shell. This will allow you to run, let's say, a Bluetooth speaker for about 16 hours if you have a 10-watt Bluetooth speaker. For those of you wanting to do the phones, of course, guys, about the same as the last one, just maybe a little bit more on the end. What I can say is what you can't run with this. You're not going to run a mixer on this device, all right? You're not going to go grab your KitchenAid mixer and run off it. You could run a CPAP machine without a problem. You could run, of course, a TV off of this. You could also run, let's say, what else could I run? My laptops, my tablets, of course, my, brain refresher, all that other stuff. This is actually $179. Still a really, really great piece with this. Now, what I will say is there's actually, I think there's like, I'm going to sneeze and I do apologize. Get one free with qualifying purchases of certain products, guys. So there are certain products on the list that you guys can qualify to get a free product when purchasing off of Amazon, so do check that out. Nice, light, and portable, guys. This is still under 8 pounds, so you can do that. It has, of course, the silicone pads, but this does another thing that the other doesn't do. It's works with an app. The app is going to allow you to turn on and off the switches from your phone. It will also allow you to see the voltage that's actually there, and it'll also allow you to see the temperature your batteries are charging at, so you don't have to worry about it. Now, the lightweight casing is actually perfectly well done, but the $179 price tag is where it's at. Now, I'm going to tell you, I would get this and probably pair it up with a mini 40 solar panel, so you have a nice portable kit. Definitely worth grabbing the 240 V2 or the original 240 and that mini 40 solar panel. Really cool piece. Now, another cool thing you guys could run off of this is, of course, your lighting. You guys could do videography, photography, and run your lighting. Or set it on your shoulder and act like it's a boom box because, well, that's what it kind of looks like. On the side, you're going to see over here is the wall plug. This is a 3-prong style like your computer plugs. This is how you're going to charge it on a wall adapter. Now, also, you're going to see the cooling right here with the air vents, and there is a fan system inside. Still very quiet and very silent of a piece. Nice, light, and portable. 240 V2 from Jackery, of course, might be the option for you. Now, with that, I'm going to set the 240 down. I'm going to grab a sip of water because I definitely need it. Now, with that, we're going to move on to the 300. Now, we're going to show you guys the original 300. This is, of course, the Jackery Explorer 300. The Jackery Explorer 300 is, of course, 293 watt-hours of power and a fixed handled shell. Now, what this actually has is 2 AC outlets. Oh yeah, my allergies are so flared, Justin, it's crazy. My camera seems really high tonight, doesn't it? You guys want me to drop the camera down a little? If you guys want me to drop the camera down so you guys can see the products a little better, let me know. Now, of course, like I said, 293 watt-hours of power in this device for you. The charge rate's going to be kind of cool, about 3.5 hours on a wall plug by itself. If you want to, you can use the wall plug and a USB-C port that's on this to get about a 2-hour charge rate with that. Now, this is where it's cool. You have 2 AC outlets at 300 watts of pure sine wave power, 2 USB-A ports, and 1 USB-C port. The USB-C port is a 60-watt in and out port. You also have that 12-volt 10-amp cigarette lighter plug as well over here. That's going to do well for you. Now, fixed handle, still about 7 pounds of weight, which is kind of cool. Now, where this is going to stand out is, guys, you guys can use like a Nintendo Switch for over 40 hours on this. For those of you, like I said, with the cameras, about 15 to 16 charges or more, depending on that battery. Lightweight, capable, and very silent. This is perfect for traveling emergencies. Of course, like Justin's been using it for his stage lighting when he's doing his videos. I've been using it for like my Keystone lights, kind of like he was doing. I also use it to run a couple other things. Like you guys will see tonight, I have some RGB lighting up here. I also have what's called the Proof of Tony Stark's Heart. Trying to charge that, of course, for something else, but you could do that off of this without a problem. What I can tell you is, you guys could run a little mini portable fridge off of this, like your camping fridge or your ice boxes. You guys could also run, let's say, your little sound systems, your Bluetooth speakers, not your full on, boombox systems, but nice little Bluetooth speakers. This is nice, light, and portable. Still about 7 decibels of sound. This is 29% off tonight. I think it's like a $199 price tag. Definitely worth checking out. The original 300 from Jackery is a nice piece. Again, like I said, guys, some of the things you are not going to be running off of this. You're not going to be running your welder machine off of this, all right? It's just not going to happen. You're not going to run your KitchenAid mixers off of this. You definitely could run your little hand blenders. You could also run your little electric drills, smaller ones with that, but not the bigger devices. This is definitely meant for smaller objects or just quick emergencies. It's not meant to run, let's say, charging your car. It's not going to happen. But the 300, great little option at $199. Can't go wrong with the 300. Justin. Yeah, I agree, Justin. I've been trying to drink as much water as I can. Allergies are flared like you wouldn't believe, but it's all good. We'll get through it. We'll have some fun. Now, with that, I'm actually going to drop my camera down slightly, guys, so we can kind of get a better view of the products as I'm doing that. So hopefully that dropped it enough. We're also going to switch over to this camera right here. I'm going to zoom into the product that's on the table right here because we're going to be moving into the 500. With that being said, that is, of course, the 500 right there. The Jackery Explorer 500 is 518 watt hours of power in a nice little package design. Now, it weighs approximately 13 and a quarter to 13 and a half pounds, all right? Still very light, very acceptable, can be taken, like on a road trip, camping and stuff, quick emergencies because of the size. Now, with it being said, it's about $299 tonight, but it packs 518 watt hours of power. Now, with this, of course, it's got a single AC outlet, but it has 3 USB-A ports. That single AC outlet, guys, is going to do 500 watts of pure sine wave power, but can peak at 1,000. Now, with it, of course, you have 3 different DC inputs or outputs and 1 input. On the side where this kind of differs is it's actually got a flashlight. Now, if I turn that flashlight on, you guys will see it has like a little orangish glow. If I shut it off, you're good to go. If I really wanted to and I hold it down, it's going to go into SOS pattern for you on that. Now, it has a larger air cooling holes. Still has their beautiful orange pattern. Has their nice bright orange battery. And, of course, their nice logo. Now, with it, it has, of course, that screen that's going to show you guys the battery percentage. So it's going to show you guys the usage and, of course, input charge with this. Now, 500 watts of power through the AC outlet, pure sine wave, but 518 watt hours of power means you can run other stuff with this. Now, first and foremost, it's going to take you a little longer to charge this. 5.5 hours on a wall plug. So it's going to take you about 5.5 hours on a cigarette lighter plug. So you guys taking a day trip across the state line, you let it charge and it's good by the time you get there. For those of you that have a 100 watt solar panel, guys, about 7.5 hours, you're good to go. Now, running this is going to allow you to run like a mini cooler for over 9 hours because you do have the multiple port connections, 7 different ports. You have different options. Let's say a flat screen TV for about 7 hours, an electric heated blanket for about 3.5 to 4 hours. For those of you that want to do that little mini cooler, about 9 hours of runtime. For those of you out camping or out rafting, you guys can actually use your inflatable rafts or your inflatable mattresses. That'll take about 8 hours of runtime with that, which is actually kind of cool. Those are actually very nicely ran off of these. Some of the stuff that I was running with the 500, I actually had a very cool light system in the bedroom running off of it earlier. It's actually sitting back over there, that light pole. So I had that Govee light set up on it. I also had the air purifier connected up to this 500, just messing around with it. I think I was charging my Sony ZV-1 off of it as well. So, we have that going. I still have about 70% battery or so. So it's good to go. 13 pounds of weight, guys. You can carry it. It's not an issue. Now, remember, if you're buying multiple items tonight, guys, and you're over $1,000, there's that 5% coupon code that you can input to get an extra 5% off of purchases over $1,000. So don't go sleeping on that code. A really cool piece. I love that. It's a great option of it. Now, if you wanted to, guys, you guys can definitely do like blenders and other objects off of it. You could also get a carrying bag if you wanted to. They have those as well. Now, if you don't want, of course, the original style of housing, we can talk about the product that's sitting literally right behind it. That is, of course, the 600 Plus. Now, the 600 Plus might need to be zoomed in slightly because of the table is was a little full. That is, of course, one of their newer products, the 600 Plus. Now, the 600 Plus steps up with a few things. First and foremost, 632 watt hours of power in LiFePO 4 cells. Now, with it, you have two AC outlets that will do 800 watts of pure sine wave power, but can peak at 1600. But it's also got a 1 hour charge rate. So that Charge Shield 2.0 will be fully charging this device in 1 hour on a wall plug. Now, for those of you that want to charge it with like your solar panels and stuff, it's going to take a little longer than that. Now, of course, this actually has Charge Shield 2.0, which actually helps it charge a lot quicker. It's got, of course, dual USB-C ports. One of those USB-C ports, guys, is, of course, the 100-watt port. The other is a 30-watt port. Now, you also have that 15-watt USB-A port under that top. With this, though, the emergency supercharging allows you to have that charge in 1 hour, but, you could go a little slower if you really wanted to. It's about 22 decibels of charging noise with that, of course. If you have two solar panels, I think it's like 3 to 4 hours with the 100-watt panels, which is a great charge time. If I actually remember right, the 600 is actually 4 hours with two of the 100-watt panels. Now, because it is a larger amount with this, I asked because I'm not really sure. I can actually have Justin pop over to that chat and answer that for you. I don't personally know about it. Now, with this, of course, guys, your 60-watt car fridge or your little refrigerator, it's going to be about 6 hours of runtime with that on this 600 Plus. For those of you that want to do the 10-watt Bluetooth speaker, about 36 hours of runtime. Now, gonna get into the emergency power of this ranging, like your coffee makers and your toaster ovens, even your house fans if you guys want to cool down real quick. Because it is 600 and, of course, 632 watt hours of power, but will do, of course, over 800 watts rated. It does peak at 1600, so you technically could put a window AC off of that. And that's just one of those things. Now, of course, it is nicely weighted with this at 16 pounds. Now, the station alone is $399, which is a great price point. But we also have the station and the 100-watt solar panel. The 100-watt solar panel that comes in this kit for $599 tonight is a really cool solar panel. It's actually a new version of their 100-watt panel. This is, of course, the 100-watt solar panel. Fully waterproof, water-resistant, and harsh and wet weather. Also has these nice little clasps. Has a built-in kickstand, of course. Will allow you to be up and running in approximately 10 or so minutes. Now, with that, it's a trifold design. You'll be like, but that's only dual panels. No, guys. It's more than 2 panels. It's actually 4. This is a nice, large panel. You guys can see I can't even stretch this out with this. So, nice, long panel for you guys. This is going to do well in, of course, charging this device. It's a cool piece that comes in the kit. If you want the kit for $599, I'm definitely going to recommend getting the panel kit instead of just the station. Now, with it, of course, I'm clasping it shut. Right there, it's got a nice little handle to carry it around. It's going to do 100 watts of charge rate at, of course, 18 volts, so you're good to go with this. Nice little piece. Monocrystalline solar cells, Fully waterproof. You can wash it off if it gets dirty. You don't have to worry. This is a cool piece. I love this. This is a nice one. Of course, with that, you have what you need in the time of need with the 600 plus, or of course the 600 plus with solar panel. Hello, Sheila. That's actually Justin. Justin is with us tonight. Aren't you surprised? All right. We're going to move into, I believe, the 1000. So we're going to show you guys the Jackery Explorer 1000. Now, the Jackery Explorer 1000 is the original version. If I bounce over here, you guys are going to see it way up top. Let's zoom on in. How far you guys want to go on that? There you guys go. There's the 600. I can tell you use the... Now, the 1000, of course, is 1,002 watt hours of power. 3 AC outlets at 1,000 watts, but can peak, of course, at 2. With this, of course, it does have the flashlight, the 500 on the side. The charge time on this, though, is going to be about 5 hours on a wall plug, 11.5 hours on your car, 6 hours off 2 solar panels if you have, of course, the 100-watt panels. Running this, you can actually run a window AC off of this for about an hour if you wanted to. For those of you that don't want to run a window AC, run an electric blanket or heated blanket for about 11 hours as well. Now, for those of you that want to run that big screen TV that's behind me, guys, 9 hours of runtime. The 5-watt to 3-watt light bulb, about 60 to 65 hours, of course, on top of that. For those of you out camping, of course, you guys could do, electric grill and everything else with that. It's really, really cool. I love it. Now, they've actually been recognized from, I believe, CNET, PC World, I think Outdoor Life. If I can remember right, Tom's Guide, of course, Digital Trends, and of course, us as well over at the Dragon Blogger side. We love their products. They're just amazing products. And that's why I like to show them guys and actually stream over here to show you guys on both channels. Now, the 1000, of course, is the original 1000. It does weigh approximately 22 pounds of weight. 22 pounds of weight is still not a lot of weight, but it's a little bit more than most people want to carry around most of the time, but does and can be carried around without a problem. I move it around without an issue, and I believe you can too. Cool part is that it, of course, is Class 9 drop resistant with that Level 9 resistance. It has, of course, the intelligent battery management systems. Of course, it has all the safety protocols. It even has, of course, dual USB-C ports. So you do have 2 USB-C ports, 2 USB-A ports. Now, the USB-A ports are 5-volt, 2.4 amp. The Quick Charge 3.0 output is, of course, 5 to 6 volts at 3 amps. And then you have the other USB-C port at 5 volt and 9 volt 3 amps. So you have that as well. Now, it is, of course, an Anderson clip style plug. So there's an Anderson clip that goes up there. Do I have an Anderson clip right here? I'm trying to show you guys that. I think I do. Yeah, I do. Let's do this. So if you guys don't know what an Anderson plug is, this, of course, is an Anderson plug. This Anderson plug is going to be your adapter that you're going to plug in to split down. And then, of course, you'll have another plug that goes into this to add dual solar panels. This will also work on other solar panels that take just a standard Anderson plug. So they do have that option for you guys with this. So Anderson plug, of course, with that is a kind of cool piece. And, of course, the Anderson plug, I believe, is the I can't remember the model number of it. I think it's JA-PCO11A. So if you guys need that, I believe that's what it is. And, of course, numbers is not always the best thing, but I'm trying to give it to you. So that's the original 1000. But they did move up and they recreated the 1000 called the 1000 V2. Now, this is where it's kind of cool. I love the 1000 V2 so much so that we're going to bounce down here. We're going to move, of course, over to here. And you guys are going to see, hey, there's a table down there. Well, yes, there is. And we're going to zoom on in. That's the 1000 V2. Now, the 1000 V2 actually changes its shell shape. Now, on top of the shell shape, it actually changes the wattage. So you go from 1002 to 1070 watt hours of power. Now, with it, of course, you have three AC outlets. Those AC outlets are going to do, of course, 1500 watts of pure sine wave power, but can peak at 3000. That is a lot of power to be running through, of course, these plugs. Now, you do have two USB-C ports. One's a 100-watt port, one's a 30-watt port. You also have the USB-A 18-watt port on top of that. Now, with, of course, the 1000 V2, you can actually run it with an app. So you do have the option to run the app with this device. Again, the app is completely free, iOS or Android based. It'll allow you to, of course, run all of these switches on this device as you need. Now, with it, of course, the one thing you guys haven't seen is the nice high contrast screen. So I'm going to power this up real quick. We're going to get that screen on so you guys can actually see that right there. Nice black and orange contrast. Now, it does, of course, have lighting on this, so you can actually do the dual modes and SOS pattern. Has a handle to be carried around. Now, with it, it changes the plug style. So you move away from the Anderson plug to the round DC plugs. You also move away from the round DC plug wall plug to, of course, the three-prong American style larger plug. And I kind of like that. Now, the weight is still there, though. You know, it does weigh a little bit for you. So there is some weight onto this device. But not too much. You should still be able to carry it around. It's like 23 pounds. It's like a pound and a half more than the other one. That's still acceptable in my mind for this. Now, Charge Shield 2.0, fully charged in 1 hour. You don't have to worry about it. It's definitely built to last with the fire retardant shell, and of course that drop resistance and everything else in between. 10-year battery life of about 4,000 charge cycles, and then you're going to be about 80% battery life after that. So it's going to last more than 10 years without a problem. Now with this though, you're going to be able to run a Bluetooth speaker for over 50 hours with no problem. You're drawing about 20 charges. For those of you that want to do laptops, about 14 hours or so runtime with that. Heated blanket over 12 hours, coffee maker about 94-ish minutes if I can remember correctly, and of course about 55 minutes on the electric grill. Of course, you guys definitely can be used as what's called a UPS. You guys can plug it in. It's about 20 milliseconds of switch over time. So if the power goes out, it's going to switch over and start running off of this. It's kind of cool that it can do that. It's a great option. Now, of course, if you want to use it for your flat screen TV over 10 hours, your little mini fridges 14-ish hours. For those of you like me that just want to, of course, have that fan going multiple hours without a problem. You don't have to worry about it. Of course, that is the station by itself, but we also have the station and two solar, is it two solar panels? It's a single solar panel. It's actually the Jackery Explorer 2, or Jackery Solar Saga 200 panel. That's actually $1,200 normally, about $1,299. I think it's $899 tonight. So you can get that station and their largest solar panel at a great discount. At $899, that's a smoking deal. You got the power. Of course, it's not the largest system, but it will do a lot for you. Really amazing product. Let me check all the chats, make sure I didn't miss any comments. Oh, look at Sheila's popping up on all of the channels. Thank you, Sheila. I appreciate that. Sheila, did you think about getting that 2000 plus system yet? I think you will enjoy it. So two different options of the 1000 V2 by itself or with a solar panel. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move to the opposite side of the table. So we're going to move over, of course, to the 2000 system. This is going to be the 2000 Pro, of course. If I move this over, you guys will be like, oh, hey, look, that moves really nicely. This is the 2000 Pro. Now the 2000 Pro is 2160 watt hours of power. It's actually got 3 AC outlets at 2200 watts of pure sine wave connectability on this. Now, where this changes is the size. Now, it is a bigger system. Now, with that, of course, you have 2 USB-C ports at 100 watts max, 2 USB-A ports at 18 watts max. It does have a flashlight. That flashlight does have a black corked cover. It does have multiple modes and, of course, brightnesses with that. Now, it also has a 12-volt 10-amp cigarette lighter plug on the opposite side that is, of course, also corked and plugged right here. And that beautiful, bright, large screen. Now, the corks are really cool with this thing. Now, what this does is, of course, it has a multiple connections and has a handle back here. The weight is a little bit more on the system. It's about 30 pounds, though. Now, with that being said, it is a LiFePo 4 cell. With it is it's a 2-hour charge time, so 2 hours on a wall plug, you're fully charged. If you have 6 of the Solar Saga 200-watt panels, you should be up and go running in about 2 hours without a problem now as well. I think it's like 2.5 hours with the 6 of the panels. Now, this kit comes with one solar panel. Normally $2,400 price tag. This is like $12.99 tonight. That's an amazing deal with this. Now, because you have 2,160 watt hours of power that does 2,200 watts of pure sine wave connectability, you can run larger devices like your window AC. 1,150 watt window AC can be ran off of this without an issue for about 2 hours or so. Your microwave can be ran for over 90 minutes. Your 520 watt refrigerator for about 3.5 hours. Now, for those of you that just want to get that barbecue on with that, of course, that electric griddle, about an hour or so. For Sheila, because she likes to go out and do some backyard daiquiri making, 5 hours on that daiquiri maker or blender, of course, out back, and you're good to go. Really cool one would be like, your mini ice boxes that you take camping and plugging it in with that. This one's about 53 decibels, so it is still very light. Full kit's about 62 pounds or so. It's a really amazing product. Now, this actually has what's called temperature sensors built in to detect, of course, the battery ranges and everything with that. It's got multiple temperature sensors. It's got intelligent battery management system. It's, of course, got all the switching that you would need with the device like that. Hit a switch, turn it on, it's going to light up. It's going to start showing you guys the hours that have left right there. 99 watt hours of running time. Now, it is only 40% charged, but not a big deal. If I click that, it's going to change this over. When you have something plugged in, it'll show you guys the volts and the hertz that it's running at, which is kind of cool that it does that. I'll move that panel. You guys can see the handle right there, of course, kind of. We're a little zoomed way in, aren't we? Let's zoom back out some so you guys can see the handle. It does have a handle, so you're good to go with this. You can carry it around with it and not have to worry. Now, all of the connection points that you're going to connect your solar panel to or your wall plug is on the back of this device. Normally, I don't flip this around, but we're going to do this tonight so you guys can kind of see this. So here is, of course, your plugs. Now, with that, of course, this is going to be your wall plug with the rubberized cork, which is just standard. And then you have dual DC plugs for your DC plugs for your solar panels. So they are there on the back with that. It's also where you'll find your serial number for your warranty. It is a 5-year warranty on this one. Now, it depends on the actual power station that you're getting. This one has a 5-year warranty. But you can also extend it to, I think, another 5-year guarantee for worry-free as well on top of that. So, but yeah, this one has a 5-year warranty. And of course, $12.99, great price point. What did I see? Yeah, Kenneth, it's a really amazing station. I've actually used the 2000 Pro right here for inflatable decorations. I've used it to. We actually had a battery jump thing on it, jump pack on there, charging up my jump packs. I actually had a whole bunch of Olight flashlights connected up to it, plugged up and charging off of it. I think I had 7 or 8 gaming console handheld controllers charged up at one point. Rechargeable batteries. I've even actually charged this little mini power station off of it, if you believe it or not. So you can actually charge another one with it if you really want to. Hey, Phil, what's up, buddy? How's Phil doing tonight? So 2000 Pro is the step out of the range of entry-level system into the bigger systems. Perfectly well. Yeah, right there. So 3-year warranty plus 2-year extended warranty, guys. So you get that 5-year guarantee worry-free experience if you really wanted to. Now, for those of you that want to just jump into and not have to worry about running your house, we can talk about the big systems. Now, this is where Sheila really wants to talk about. We're going to start it off with the 3000 Pro. Now, the 3000 Pro is 3024 watt hours of power. It is a large system. Now, you're probably like, where's it at? Well, it's back there. It's the bottom two. Well, one's a 3000 Pro, the other is a 2000 Plus. We zoom on in. You're going to be greeted with, of course, a 64-pound power station. Now, if we can get the camera to go in there correctly, right there. It's a little bit blocked, and I'm going to actually fix that for you guys. We're going to move the Tony Stark part downwards and show you guys this device. Now, with this, it's got 5 AC outlets. So you have 4 standard 3-prong AC outlets that will do 3,000 watts of pure sine wave power, but can peak at 6,000 watts. You also have that 5th one up there that you can plug in your TIG or MIG welder, or old school washers and dryers, or even an adapter for like your smart cars and stuff if you needed to. Now, we're going to get kind of into some cool stuff with this because it does have 2 USB-C ports, 100 watts max charging capability, 2 USB-A ports at 18 watts max. Now, on there's actually this really cool piece that you probably haven't seen, and we're going to show you guys this. It is a suitcase design. It's got 3-inch large wheels to roll this around because the power station does weigh 64 pounds. Now, because it is over 3,000 watt hours, it's actually 3,024 watt hours of power, you actually might qualify for what's called the 30% tax credit from your residential clean energy programs. Now, you'll actually have to contact your utility provider or your energy systems provider to see if you guys qualify for that, but it's always worth checking it out with that one. Now, the 3-inch large wheels means you can roll this around on dirt, concrete, and other devices like grass. The only one I did have a problem rolling around on was sand. Sand, of course, sinks a little, so it made it a little bit harder. Now, they even added a telescopic aluminum handle that folds up and slides in and out of that piece, so you guys can actually do that and roll it around. Now, there are 2 orange handles on the side to help lift it if you do need to lift it up off the ground, but, most of us are just going to roll it around. 2.5 hour wall charging is what it's going to take on a wall plug, 2.5 hours. If you have 6 of their 200 watt Solar Saga panels, 3.5 hours, you're good to go. Now, because it is a 324 watt hours of power, that means you can run your 1150 watt window AC for about 3 hours or so. If you want to watch a television show for the next 35 hours, maybe you guys need to binge watch some Game of Thrones or something. 35 hours that flat screen TV is going to run for you. Now, how do I get this deal? You'll click on the product in the carousel. It will take you to the page, and you'll click it and, of course, add it to your cart. Now, the one thing I will tell you, John, if you get the 3000 Pro for $18.99, don't forget to take that 5% clippable or that 5% code and get another 5% off that we have for you. I'll have Lois post that again for you because we do have another 5% off for those of you that purchase anything over $1,000. Now, like I was saying, double door refrigerators, about 520 watts. You get about 5 hours of runtime. Thank you, Justin. That is the code to get another 5% off for you. For those of you that want to do like a blender, of course, 8 hours on a blender, 2.5 hours on a microwave, toaster ovens, RVs, you guys, projectors. 100 watt projectors, 21 hours of runtime, right? That's a good amount of runtime. But I told you guys about TIG and MIG welders. You can run a welding machine, a 5800 watt welding machine for over an hour on this device. For those of you that have a well pump at home and your power's out, but you still want to get water into your house, connect it up to that. Those are about 60 watts or so. You're going to get anywhere from 29 to 32 hours of runtime depending on that well pump, which is actually kind of cool. It's an amazing product at a great price point. It does weigh 64 pounds, so if you do have to lift it up, do be careful. I don't want you guys to hurt yourself. Now, it has 12 forms of protection built in. It has, of course, the fire retardant shell. It's got the intelligent battery management system. It even works as an EPS, emergency power supply, 20 milliseconds of switch over time with that. Now, the input power is about 1,440 watts under bypass mode. So do know in bypass mode, you're only going to get about 1,440 watts with the output power of this. So it's not going to get the full 3,000 watts. So do be cautious with that on hand. The AC input with that, of course, like I said, is at that function. can run at -4 degrees. You can probably run it a little colder than that. I don't recommend it personally myself, but it can be done, so you can definitely run it. Pair it with, of course, the app. And now the app we haven't talked about. We will get to the app right here. With that, of course, I had TikTok up, and I don't know why. But the app's completely free. Like I said, guys, the app is going to allow you to add any of the Plus stations or, of course, that 3000 Pro. We're going to click the 3000 Pro, and it's going to come up, and you guys are going to see the battery that's left on the charge. It's also going to show you guys the temperature of that battery. Now, we do have multiple plugs down there. So if I hit the AC plug, the lighting behind me just shut down. You do see that round ring just shut off. And now I'll hit it back on. It's going to take a couple seconds to come back on, but that lighting will come back on in about right there. So you can actually do it from your phone. You don't have to get up, and that's kind of cool. Now, with it, of course, you can set up what I like to do is like battery setting modes, energy saving modes. You can also do like charging settings, where if you guys want to do quiet charging, it'll take a little bit longer to charge, or you can do fast charging like I normally do. Just leave it in that charging mode. Really amazing. But also in the app, which I want to point this out, if I can come over here. You can scan and share the device, of course, with somebody else. So if you guys want to, you can scan and share it. It'll also allow you to do firmware updates from the phone. So you can update the devices with that. So really cool, easy app. It's iOS and Android based. You can definitely use it on tablets and other devices. I'm just going to say it. I had it on my PC for a while, but took it back off because, that's just me. Hey, J-Lo, how are you doing? So 3000 Pro, beautiful piece. That's going to get you off of the grid, living in style. Now we're going to move on to the 300 Plus Power Station, which is a nice little portable system for you. This is the 300 Plus. The 300 Plus is 288 watt hours of power and, of course, under 1.5 hour charge time. That's amazing. LiFePO 4 cell has a handle. Has, of course, lighting and a 12-volt 10-amp cigarette lighter plug. Also has two USB-C ports, a 100-watt port, and a 15-watt port. You also have the 15-watt USB-A port and individually switched with that. Now over here you guys have, of course, the AC outlet that's going to do 300 watts of pure sine wave power, but can peak at 600. The station by itself is $236 tonight, but we have an option with the solar panel as well. I'm going to get into the solar panel in a minute, but first let's talk about your charge times. 1.5 hours on a wall plug. 3 hours if you use the USB-C port. 4.5 hours if you use the cigarette lighter plug. If you have the solar panel that comes in, of course, the kit, you're going to get that to be charged in about 7.5 hours. Runtime, of course, you guys, Nintendo Switch over 40 hours, 13 phone charges, 4.5 hours on a fan, or CPAP machines can be run off of this and everything else. £5 for the station alone. Now, like I said, the station by itself is a good price point for you. The station, of course, is about $209. But if you want to get the station and the solar panel, it's about $279. And the solar panel is where it's at, because this kit can fit in your backpack totally together. Because £5 plus about a pound and a half, it's not a lot of weight. This is the Mini 40 solar panel. The Mini 40 solar panel is, of course, waterproof and water resistant. It has a magnetic clasp, is a trifold design, and has 4 panels. The panels are made from monocrystal and solar cells, and it's going to give about a 23% conversion rate in, of course, converting that light to power. This is a cool piece. I like it because it's the size of a notebook and can fit in a backpack. For those of you that like to hiking or camping in the backwoods, but don't want to carry large power stations, this little kit will do well in your packing gear. So really cool piece, great price point. I saw the smile. Any questions about those guys? Definitely ask. Now we are running slightly behind tonight, but we're going to keep moving on. We're going to talk about the modular systems. We're going to start off with the 1000 Plus. Now, with that being said, the 1000 Plus is a really, really beautiful power station that does 1264 watt hours of power. The station by itself is about 30% off. It's an $839 price tag. Now, with that being said, if we move over here and we actually move up, you're going to be greeted with the 1000 plus right there in the middle. But this is kind of cool. Because it does do, of course, connectability, you have 200 or 2000 watts of pure sine wave power through the 3 AC outlets. Now you do have 2 USB-C ports at 100 watts and 2 USB-A ports at 18 watts. Now, it is a modular system, so you can actually add batteries, you can add solar panels to this. Now, by itself, it is, of course, 1264 watt hours of power, can be fully charged in under 2 hours of charge time with that. Really amazing piece, of course, by itself. Add a solar panel kit, and of course, you get 2 of the Solar Saga 100 panels at about $1,199 for 20% discount tonight. Now, because it is over that $1,000 range, use that 5% code and have fun with it. But we also have the full kit and caboodle. Now, we have that and, of course, the battery, which, whoa, that did not go where I wanted to. The battery right up there on top. Now, of course, that is the battery on the opposite side, very top up there. This, of course, is the 1000 kit. Now, the 1000 kit's going to come with, of course, the solar station and the battery. Now, that means you just doubled your battery power to 2,528 watt hours of power, which means you can run your window AC for multiple hours. You can run a microwave without a problem. You can run your hair dryers. You can run everything under the sun. The cool part is this kit. Oh, I appreciate that, John. I'm glad you'll actually love that station. That 2000 Pro is a beautiful station. It's an amazing product. Now, with it, of course, like I was saying, guys, you can add batteries to this 1000 plus kit. You can add up to 3 batteries. Now, that's going to give you about 5 kilowatts of hour power with 3 batteries. With just the one battery, you have, of course, 2.5 kilowatts of hour power. Still a great charge cycle of under 2 hours on a wall plug with that. You could run, of course, multiple devices from weed eaters to refrigerators to everything under the sun. We have 3 variations of the 1000 or the 1000 plus in here. We have the system by itself, we have the system with 2 solar panels, and then we have the system with the battery kit. I'm gonna always recommend getting the kit with the battery, of course, but in having fun. You can run so much off of this at a great runtime with it, of course. Now we're going to move into their largest modular system, the 2000 Plus system. Now the 2000 Plus system is a $1,299 price tag. The $1,299 price tag is actually a good price point for it with the amount of power that it has. Now, the power that comes on the 2000 Plus system is about 2,042 watt hours of power. Now, it is a LiFePO 4 cell. It does work with the app and, of course, has the 5 AC outlets. Now, it looks just like the 3000 Pro. Now, the 2000 Plus is right there next to the 3000 Pro. It's got 5 AC outlets, 4 standard, and, of course, that 5th one is a larger style. It still has the 2 USB-C ports at 100 watts max and the USB-A ports at 18 watts max. It does have, of course, the 12-volt 10-amp cigarette lighter plug and the 3-inch large wheels that makes it look like a suitcase so you can roll it around. I love the idea of having these large wheels to allow you to tip it over and roll it around without an issue. The system, of course, will allow you to run a window AC for a couple hours. Now, the other cool part is this can actually be fully charged in 2 hours on a wall plug without a problem. If you guys want to do the cigarette car lighter plug in your RV, your camper, or your vans, about 25 hours is what it's going to take to fully charge it off of that. For those of you that have 6 of the Solar Saga 200 panels, 2 hours is all it's going to take. You're fully charged. Now, running devices, of course, on this, you guys can run a Tigger MIG welder for about a half an hour or more. You guys can run, of course, CPAP machine for about 150 hours. If you wanted to run a coffee maker, about 2.5 to 3 hours. Your microwave, about an hour and a half. For those of you that want to do, of course, the off-the-grid living, you got your power inverter heaters, about 19 hours of runtime. Your air pumps, of course, about 20 hours. Your weed eaters, you guys can run a weed eater for over 2.25 hours or so. Now, it's a modular system. We also have the option of the system and 2 of the solar panels. That's going to be about an $1,899 price tag. That's the station and their 2 large 200-watt solar panels. Great price point and a beautiful piece. What I'm going to tell you is go with the 4,000 kit. The 4,000 kit's going to give you the station and let's see if we can get that to show. The battery that's sitting right on top of it. So you just doubled your runtime up to 4,085 watt hours of power. Because you are over that 3,000 watts, you actually, can sign up for the Green Energy Credit Program. Now, this price point, guys, for this kit is, I think, $2,699. It comes with the solar panels, 2 of the solar panels, the battery, and the station. Now, remember, I said it's a modular system, so you can actually add up to 5 batteries. 5 batteries is going to give you guys 12 kilowatts of hour power. You can actually link a second station together and actually have 10 batteries to do 24 kilowatts of hour. This is going to allow you to live off of the grid, not pay your electric bill. The station can actually have 6 solar panels. I think the battery can have 2 of the solar panels as well to charge them. So you can actually add solar panels to the station and the batteries as well. So you're charging everything off of the grid. You don't have to worry about it. It's a great idea, great options, and a beautiful, beautiful price point and kit. So right there, guys, is their largest modular system. I appreciate that, Freddie. We're going to start off with solar panels now because we're getting towards the end of the show. We're going to start off with the Mini 40. Now, the Mini 40 is, I think, about $94 tonight, which is a great price point. The Mini 40 is completely compatible with the 300 systems, the 240s, the 500, and so. Now, it is a nice little piece that is, of course, about 9 inches by 11 inches by a ½ inch thick. Weighs less than 2.5 pounds. It is a 40-watt stable power rating. And, of course, it is fully waterproof and water-resistant IP68 rating. Now, monocrystalline solar cells in a magnetic clasp. Has, of course, these eye ringlets to tie it down. Now, the panel is a beautiful panel. Monocrystalline, don't bend these. You don't want to step and crack the panels, but you can, of course, put them in your backpack and carry it because it's notebook-sized. Now, it does, of course, fold out into 4 panels. The panel is going to grab a good amount of light to give you guys about 23% conversion rate of converting light to power to your stations. Now, this is a beautiful one. This one will allow you to charge the 300 plus in about 7.5 hours. Of course, if you guys connect it to the 500, it's going to take a little longer than that. But it's the portability of this solar panel because it is nice and small. Which is always a plus for me. So if you need one of these, it's about 28% off at $94. You can't go wrong with that one. Or if you need a bigger solar panel, we can talk about the 100-watt range. Now, they do have, of course, what's called the 100 Prime. That is a modular solar panel. They also have the 100, 2 versions of the 100 as well as the Prime. So you have their newer version that comes with the 600 plus, that's foldable, or the one we're showing you guys right here in the carousel. This is, of course, the Solar Saga 100. Now, the Solar Saga 100 actually has dual kickstands, fully waterproof, water resistant, compatible with all the stations up to the 1500, of course, and the 1500 Pro. It does have, of course, a carrying pouch on the back. This carrying pouch actually has your cabling. The cabling is a 9.5-foot cable with, of course, dual adapters. Now, the adapters are the DC plugs. You have, of course, the yellow style for the larger and, of course, the black one for the smaller stations. Now, with the 100 panel, this is, of course, monocrystalline solar cells. It actually has an ETFE laminated handle for resilience and, of course, fully waterproof and water resistant. Now, this one's going to do about 23.5% conversion rate in converting it in light. Now, it is a nice, large panel. And of course, if I can get into this to show you guys the size of this panel, it's a good panel, and it's going to grab light. I mean, look at it grab the light off, of course, my lighting. If you guys can see that right there, it's grabbing my Keystone lights and stuff very, very well. the monocrystalline solar cells are going to do well. The cool part is if you guys watch this, if you guys can see this, magnetic. So the magnetically shuts itself, so you don't have to worry about it pinching your hands and everything else. You should be able to have this set up and running in under 10 to 15 seconds on a power station without a problem. It gets dirty, wash it off with a hose or a rag, and you're good to go for, of course, more runtime. Nice, portable, and beautiful little Solar Saga 100 panel at a $209, and it's a great price point for you. With that, we're coming to our last solar panel. That is, of course, the 200-watt panel. Now, the 200-watt panel is a really, really amazing panel. This is their largest solar panel. This panel is compatible with, of course, I believe the 1000 V2, the 1500 Pro, the 2000 Pro, the 2000 Plus, and the 3000 Pro system. We actually have a video over here that we can actually play for you guys with it in action. That is the video of me setting it up. Now with this, fully waterproof and water resistant, and of course the weather. You guys can have this out in very harsh weather, including dust and dirt, and wash it off without a problem. It actually has an laminated case that comes off with a zipper and a clasp. Inside that case, there is actually a pocket with a 9.5-foot cable with a dual adapter, a straight angle, and a 90-degree angle as well with this. Now with it is a trifold design with, of course, quad panels. It actually has tri-legs as well. It's got 3 legs to set it up. Now you see there it is a little bit larger, and I'm setting it up. It's going to take me a little bit longer because it's my first time setting this up. But you should be able to have it set up in under 20 seconds without a problem as well with this. Now, when you have it connected up, it's going to give you about 200 watts of power at 18 volts, which is a good amount of power to convert. Now, it's going to do about 24.3% conversion in light to power in your solar panels. When I have this hooked up, within, of course, 10 seconds of it being hooked up, it was grabbing about 153 watts of watt hours of power of changing it into charging rate, which is amazing. You're going to see that, and it's going to do well. It is a large panel, so do know that it is about 24 inches, of course, by 24 inches by 21 inches by 1 inch height. That's folded. When you pull it out, it is a lot longer. It's a long solar panel. I do recommend getting their 16.5-foot cable to set it up. That way you can have the power station out of the rain and out of the way. The solar panel by itself weighs about 20 pounds. Do know it's got some weight though. But right there is a beautiful little solar panel that's going to do very, very well for the larger systems if you're looking for something like that. So that is the Solar Saga 200 panel. That is an amazing little piece right there of options. Now, we also have 3 different carrying bags, guys, in the carousel. We have the medium carrying bag at $59. We also have the small carrying bag at $49 and the large at $69. So we have 3 options of carrying bags. I don't have those on hand to show you. It would be really cool to do that, but you have options for carrying bags as well. Now, remember, guys, there is, of course, that 5% clip or 5% code down there to get a 5% off of purchases over $1,000. With that, I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. I've had a lot of fun. You guys are going to see me pretty much almost every day on one of the social channels, of course, doing a stream for Jackery for the next few days. And then some of those days you're going to see me multiple times. With that, I want to thank you guys for being here tonight. I hope you guys got enough information out of me that you can make a decision to purchase one. Hey, I appreciate that, buddy. Hey, thank you, Phil. I really do appreciate that, man. All right, guys. With that, I want to thank you all for being here. We will see you guys on the next show. And as always, it's been fun. I'll see you guys later, as always. Later, everybody. Have a good one.